Hi, viewers, and welcome to your very own Tech and More, a one-stop destination for anything you need. Now, first of all, thank you so much for an awesome response on our mock interview series. And we are actually very happy to know that these series are helping you big time, and the content in general is helping you. Now, we have been receiving a lot of requests around mock interviews in domains with business analysis, development, quality analysis, project management, so and so. Now, of course, everyone's request is in our queue, but we can only go one by one. So in this particular video, we are conducting a mock interview around Salesforce Business Analysis with a candidate, namely Navnath Kohli, who has an experience of more than 5 years in this domain. So it's safe to say that if you are someone who has an experience anywhere between 2 to 6 years, this mock interview is for you, right? Now, one thing I want to mention here, or I want to specify here, is that since there are going to be a lot of questions, and I don't want to mix things up because it's easier for me, it's easier for Navnath, and it's easier for you as viewers if questions are categorized in different sections. So I the point is that we will divide our questions into some categories. I'll start and I'll ask category by category and mention the categories as well, right? So I just wanted to share these details with you before we start. Now, as soon as I say the word start, we'll try enact as if we are in an actual interview to get the actual feeling. So cool. Let's start with it. Hi Navnath, how are you doing?
Hey Chaitanya, I'm good. How are you?
All good, buddy. Thank you so much for asking. So, first questions first. Tell me a little bit about yourself and your experience.
Sure. I would love to speak about myself. And yes, so my name is Navnath Kohli, and I'm having around 6 years of experience.
Okay.
And I have been part of multiple companies, including Amazon, and as well as I've been part of some startup.
Mhm.
Uh, into that, like I have been for 4 years. From past 4 years, I've been with Salesforce platform, and into that, I have been wearing multiple hats. Like from initially, I was working as an Salesforce admin, and then I have also handled QA activities, and also like as an low code platform developer, I have developed few point and click tools within Salesforce,
Okay.
and but the major part where I have been into the like where I have participated more is the business analysis, and into that like I have been part of two major projects which were related to telco domain, and this is more about like in Salesforce I have been.
Got it.
Yeah, that would
So I
be
think it's safe to say that majority of your experience lies in the Salesforce domain, that too as a business
right.
analyst, right? Cool.
Yes, right.
So Navnath, as I already mentioned, I will be bifurcating or segmenting the questions into categories, so it's easier for you to
Mhm.
answer as well. Now, let's start with the first category. That is, I mean, all my questions are going to be around the generic knowledge of your or knowledge, generic understanding of your as a business analyst and in the Salesforce platform. So my first question is the very basic one. We'll take it level by level, and I would just like to say one thing that do not be worried. It's more of a conversational interview. I mean, I'm not here to reject you. I'm here to accept you, right? So I just want to know what exactly is your experience, how you think, and how you can be a good fit for the role. Okay, cool. So let's start with the
Right.
first question. That is, what do you think is the role of a business analyst in a Salesforce project or in any project for that matter? What is the role of a business analyst?
Sure. So what I think about this is, as an Salesforce business analyst, you are the one who are like bridging the gap. Like
Yeah.
if you say about uh, if a customer comes to you and he have some ideas, like you want to build some features within Salesforce by leveraging Salesforce platform. Into that, like he will provide some like he'll be having some idea in his mind, like currently what he's facing, like he's having some pain points with into his mind, so he'll sharing with us like this is the part where where my business is lacking, and I want to leverage some features within Salesforce that can help me to overcome this problem, like that. So as a business analyst, it is my responsibility, if I say, to take that and to take as much as possible the whatever the requirements are there, whatever the uh, problems they are facing. If there is something like into their existing system, if there is something like they were trying to implement but they were unable to do it, so I would be the person, like as a Salesforce, I can say, as a Salesforce expert, I can say, by using that platform, can I solve that problem as well. So this is the part of me taking all of the information from the customer, and once I have gathered as much as data from the customer, what I'll do is I'll be keeping some session with the internal
So
like who will be working.
I have a question here. That is, you say
Mhm.
that the role of a business analyst is to gather requirements and document it.
Correct.
Now, how do you do that? And when you say that I'm going to gather the requirements, can you walk me through the process similar to what SDLC or STLC is? Is there a stage by stage process which will help a business analyst to gather the requirements well or perform their activities well?
Okay. Yes, there are some like in business analysis as well. We have like we have some stages like we have to go through. First of all, the problem is like we have to discover the problem, right? So into that, what I'll do is I will gather the data that it is. So it will be from multiple resources, whether it would be like an one-on-one interview with the client, as well as the parties included into that the particular problems we are trying to build. And other than that, I have to refer a few documentation as well, and I have to go through the existing system
Okay.
which they have, or they are trying to like on top of that they want some extra feature like that that also I need to review. So that would be like multiple there are multiple resources that I have to keep in mind while gathering the information from customers or from the documentation we had like that.
Got it.
And
So,
s-
when you say that, okay, as a business analyst, your job is to act as a bridge between the client and the implementation team. Perfect.
like
Uh, how do you gather these requirements is something that you've answered, the stage and the cycle. Now, the next question is that you have a lot of requirements given to you. How would you prioritize those requirements? That is, how do you start working on those requirements? Of course, everything cannot be done at one go. You have to sort of give more priority to one, less priority to others, and then start, right? So, what is the logic behind giving the prioritization?
Okay, so first of all, like this is a very interesting question. So since prioritization is like it is so my method to follow to basically to get the prioritization
Mhm.
is like suppose if we are working into a project. So the first part is the basic structure like we have to build. So for building that particular structure, what are the points that I need to first of all like I that this these are the essential part that I need to follow up. So whatever the essential part which is there, I will try to I will try to take that first, and after that I'll be checking like based on the requirements and the whatever the requirements. So my approach would be to go on the initial what are the essential things there are there in the project that needs to be built first. So I'll prioritize those things first, and according to that my prioritization list will go down and down, and I'll be working like accordingly with that.
So, all in all, you're saying that what is much like an analogy to a home, first you will focus on creating the basic structure, the more critical
Right,
things or the more basic things, and then you would go and keep on leveling it up, right?
right, right.
Okay. Now uh, let's go on to the next section or the next categorization of the questions. That is, I want to ask you a little bit questions around Salesforce domain. I'll
Mhm,
start with the very basic one, and I'm sure you must know this, that what are the key Salesforce features that support business process automation? If I want to give you a hint, I would say,
mhm,
can you tell me a little bit of automation processes that are in Salesforce by default? For example, there is Process Builder,
mhm.
there was Workflow, which is a legacy now. Any other
Right.
process or any other automations that you know that Salesforce has?
Right, right. So basically in Salesforce, like mostly if I talk specifically about the automation, so Salesforce as an best practice, Salesforce follows the declarative approach first. So basically they will try to approach through and some point and click tools, and if the solution is not feasible within this configuration or within this approach,
Mhm.
then they'll move it to the customization where comes the programming part. So into Salesforce, like if there are some repetitive tasks that needs to be that are they are consuming the time of a particular admin or the developer or someone like that. So we in Salesforce we have particular like features like we have workflow rules, which you have already mentioned that it has been retired from Salesforce, and like we have process builder as well. And another thing in the recent time, which is the most popular is the lightning flow. So this flow builders is the the one which I have personally been as an what you can say as an admin. Also, you need to understand like what kind of features are into these lightning flow. So basically, just as in simple words, I would say that it is the most powerful tool in Salesforce for automations. Be it creating some task, or some creating, if you want to create some file, or if you want to delete something, like there are multiple options we have. We have like different type of flows as well. We have record triggered flow, then we have platform events, so which will help to get the data or the request response that has been communicated through from the external app applications as well. So
Any
like
any
that.
any other process automation features other than lightning flows and workflows and process builders that you know of?
um, so within Salesforce, if you're saying, or is it like uh, apart from Salesforce?
Not within Salesforce. This segment or this section is only focused on the Salesforce question.
Mhm. Okay. uh, so
Okay, I have another question for you.
and
Uh,
to that, like the other is we can.
cool. I think
Yes.
there was some lag in between. I was saying I have another question for you. The question is
Mhm.
that I am a client of yours. I already have a Salesforce implementation, and there has been a workflow rule implemented. Cool.
Mhm.
Now I come to you, you're a new vendor for me, and I tell you that I want you to build new automations on Lightning Flow. As you said, Lightning Flow is sort of the in thing right now.
Mhm.
What would happen to the existing workflow rule? Will it not work? Can I make changes to it? Can I use it in a new way? I mean, what happens when I give you that workflow rule to work upon? Mm.
So, like recently, I haven't been like much into workflow rules. Like most of the part, I have been using this lightning flows. So, I wouldn't be able to specifically comment about the actual approach which you have mentioned into that. Uh, but
So, uh,
if just.
from my end, and I'm sorry I am interrupting you in between. The reason why I'm
Mhm.
interrupting you, or I've done 2 to 3 times, is because I am expecting a little concise or
Mhm.
short answers, because you have to understand one thing. So, typically in an interview we have 45, 50 minutes, and
Right.
if I have to ask you a lot of questions on a lot of categories for you to
Mhm.
assess you better, right? Now,
Mhm.
if you I mean, I understand when we know something we sort of flow into that topic and we keep on speaking about it, which is common, but you have to limit that particular intrinsic feeling, because the interviewer has to
Mhm.
ask a lot of questions. That is me, I have to ask a lot of questions, right?
Right.
So try to be as much precise as possible. If I ask you that what are some automation features of Salesforce, you just mention 3 features and that's all. And then if I want to ask you
Mhm.
anything else from that, I will do that, but your answers have to be precise. Now,
Okay.
as I was saying regarding the workflow rules, so this is something that you should know as a business analyst, because the client will be asking you this. The workflow rules
Mhm.
have been depreciated. That's true. But if you the workflow rules which have been built till now will not stop working. They will continue
Mhm.
working, and they will also allow you to make some changes into the workflow rule. But yes, you will not be able to create new automations using workflow. And Salesforce
Mhm.
has an advisory which says that try to migrate your automations from workflow to Lightning flows. It's an advisory. It's not that they've stopped supporting you. It's more of an advisory. Okay, cool.
Understood.
Yeah. So now let's go on to the next question. Let's say you
Mhm.
have been selected as a business analyst to perform your activities or perform requirement gathering for a Sales Cloud implementation. How
Mhm.
would you approach this particular situation?
Okay. So if I say about specifically, like if I want to, so if this implementation is related to Sales Cloud, so what I'll do is, as in requirement gathering sessions, I will do is, I will basically I have to go through the customers, customers and all of these stakeholders that are included and responsible for this project on building solutions.
Mhm.
So what I'll do is, I have to go through the one-on-one sessions with them to understand their needs, what are the particular needs they are trying to get through Salesforce. Uh, and into that, in Sales Cloud, what particularly they are looking for. Like basically, the main agenda of Sales Cloud is to get the leads and to convert them as a customer. So that would be the main part they'll be having. But into that, after that, having that customer, how they want to progress further with that. Like that, I'll take the basic information from the customers, and if there is something like if they want to integrate something into Salesforce, like a application that they want to, third party application that has some functionality they want to include it, they want some data from to be retrieved from there, then I would be taking that information as well from them. And the third part would be like the basic roles and profiles, like the user, like how the basic hierarchy is, how their hierarchy is working on. So according to that, I have to build some hierarchy rules, something like that, so that each and every user will have specific kind of access they can use, and leverage based on that, that I can take the information from them.
Well, I think your answer is correct, but I would say it is 70% in tandem with what I was thinking. Of course, in such questions, there is no one right answer. Your thinking is also right. But I was expecting a little more organized answer that would say that I would be focusing on uh, several parts or several categories to make it more organized. First, I would
Mhm.
understand their sales life cycle, number one. Then I would understand their key sales roles. Then I would understand their basic CRM needs. That is what they're expecting out of Salesforce. Then I would understand their automations. That is what automations they have and what sort of automations are they expecting. And then I would understand their reports and dashboards needs. So if you see, when I talk about these 4 or 5 segments, it covers the sales cloud holistically, right? So
Right.
I mean, a suggestion for you, the answer that you've given is right. But if you present it in a more crisp and more organized manner like this, it would help better. Not only for the question and answers, but if you come into a project and you start working, you will have a much better approach to work upon it. Okay,
Got it. Understood. Yeah.
cool, buddy. Now let's talk. Let's go to the next question, which is what is the difference between a custom object and a standard object in Salesforce?
Okay. So basically, so what Salesforce do is Salesforce has already a few standard objects which Salesforce has already provided. When you are part of Salesforce platform, then you will be directly having. So suppose if you are part of Salesforce Sales Cloud,
Mhm.
then basically you have some standard objects that are provided, that are inbuilt in Salesforce. So which, as an example, I say accounts, contacts, opportunities, like that. And custom objects are those which are created based on the business requirements. So if some business wants some additional objects that are to be created, like apart from the standard, then you will have the custom objects which Salesforce can create.
Can you help me with an example of a custom object?
Sure. So basically, for if I say about the custom object, right?
Mhm.
So particularly what I'm thinking is, if suppose if you have some application within Salesforce, so into that we have accounts and everything like that, right? But suppose if you want some additional fields related to particular, like what I can say, particularly, suppose if the requirement is related to some kind of location or something which is not into you want to create a few, what we can say, the list, the categorization of few locations into that, then there you can create a particular object for that, and into that you can add some fields, custom fields, and into that you put your values that it will go on, and based on the needs you can do it.
Got it. Cool. Now I'm going to ask you some questions from the next section, which is process and documentation. First of all, help me differentiate between BRD and FRD.
Sure. So BRD is basically, it's an so what I can say, it is an holistic view of the business or whatever the solution we are building, whatever the context of the business, the solution we are trying to build for the customer. It includes all of the information, and it includes the information which we can say as an which are like a functional requirement, and as non-functional requirements are also included that. And basically this BRD is like it captures the whole cycle of the whatever project we are working on. It captures the whole cycle, like whatever the changes if we made something like that, into that we can include that into the BRDs. And FRD is particularly, it is just an what I can say, it is more specific to the functionality requirement. Basically this particular BRD, FRD, sorry, is particularly used by the technical team, so they can understand what are the like what are the solution designing is we are implementing into that, and what are the technical things like related to the whatever kind of flows, also business flows, or like that.
Got it. Got it. What is the full form of BRD and FRD?
Sure. So BRD is business required documents, and FRD is functional required documents.
Is it required or requirements?
Sorry, requirement documents.
Requirements. Cool. Now, I'm sure you're aware about the concept of writing down user stories and acceptance criteria. What is the significance of acceptance criteria in a user story?
So user story. Just for an so suppose if we are part of a business and there are multiple people's in like there are multiple some mix of non-technical and technical uh, uh, audiences. So into that, if a particular if the business if suppose if the leadership team or the person who is who wants to check what are the specific requirements we have taken out, and what are the current status of that requirement. So into that, the understanding the level of understanding they can get is from the user stories, the user story and the acceptance criteria. So basically they will focus on the user story, what exactly the description is. So suppose if there is some functionality related to some login page, so you have to so basically we follow a syntax for that, a format for in writing a user story. So into that you have to give as a persona should be there, and what has to be done, and what will be the result. So this is the exact syntax we follow while creating one user story. And the acceptance criteria is basically about the segregation of the particular. So what steps are there into the particular, if I take an example, if suppose if you are building login page, and so what so there can't be there will be multiple fields into that, like that. So which field should be taken? So basically it would be the technical description that a particular developer would be able to understand and would be able to work upon.
Got it. Okay. Then, mm, 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 mm. Can you help me with one or two acceptance criteria pointers for a registration page? You need not share your screen or anything. Just I want to know one or two acceptance criteria pointers that you would add as a business analyst for a registration page.
Sure. Just give me a minute. I'll just
For sure,
try to
take your
build
time.
one
No worries,
scenario.
no worries, no worries.
Sure. Yes. So basically what I'll do is, if the users to so I have to define, so as in particular, so we have to define who is the user, right? So I will define as an authorized user, I'll say, of a particular website, or he wants to gain some services from that particular application. So as an authorized user, I'll say, and after that, uh, I'll mention, I'll be entering the so as an authorized user, I'll be filling up the login, the basic registration form. And after completing the form, I should I'll be getting a successful notification in that. And this will be the user story description. And into that, the acceptance criteria I would say is particularly so first of all, uh, there would be like into the acceptance criteria, I would say there would be the information we will include, like the first name, and what are the actual compulsory, like the essential fields or the mandatory fields they need to fill up. And if suppose the customer miss out to fill the mandatory part, then there should be some kind of error that should be displayed over to it. And once that information has been completely filled, and there should be a button, or there should be some call to action into that particular registration page, so that once the user clicks it, he'll get an pop-up or something like an acknowledgement that his whatever details he has filled has been successfully captured. And yes, he can process to the next stage.
Got it. Cool. So, what would you say are the main components of a user story? Hmm.
uh, Main components as an user story, can you please elaborate that? I
Components, as
just
in you have, you spoke about acceptance criteria, then there is, you mentioned that there has to be a persona and what is to be done, what is the result. So there are different components, the user story title, then there is acceptance criteria. Any other components that you know of, or any
mm,
other information that you have to input in a user story?
Okay. Into that, I would say that we can include the problem statement if you want to add that. So basically, if particularly if you are trying to focus on one particular solution, that is the part of that, the user story is part of that. Then you can ensure that you should mention a problem statement included into that particular user story.
Got it. Got it. Cool. I'm sure you must have used Jira a lot in your projects. Now, can you help me with some context fields on a Jira ticket? So we spoke about user story title, we spoke about requirements, we spoke about problem statement, acceptance criteria, notes. Cool. What are some other standard fields that come on a Jira ticket that you have been using a lot?
Yes. So basically, we have so there are fields like first of all, I would that first came into my mind is about the epics. We have epics. So basically, these epics are the categorization of a particular functionality, and based on that functionality, it is further categorized into user stories. So there would be a feature, and for that to create that feature, there would be user stories to be created. So that is we have into Jira. And other thing would be like you have the inbuilt features like where you can uh, relate a particular epic to the users to that particular epics, the user stories to an particular epic. And we have you will be having a visualization part where you'll be able to see the backlogs and whatever the tickets that are pending on your name,
And
something
can I
like
say
whatever
that
the
there are
user
fields
story.
like assignee, sprint, due date, all these fields have you used?
Right, right. Yes, we have used that. So
Do you know of
basically
any
it'll
other fields similar to this?
yes, basically the one which you have mentioned, like into that we have the estimate like points to be estimated for a particular user story. And then there would be uh, like these like the sprint. There would be some section where you'll have to mention the which sprint we are we on currently and which the user story is related to, like that.
Any other fields that you know of?
Mm,
Okay, cool. I think I am good for now. So, do you have any questions for me?
Yes. So I do have few questions related to the to the profile. So what I wanted to understand, like what is the uh, particularly if I say about this profile, how the growth works. Like the profile, how the growth will be working out for me. That
I
I
think
would
growth is
wanted
quite,
to know.
I think the growth will be quite decent. So growth has two aspects. One is the compensation, the money. That is something the HR will help you with. Secondly is your designations and your learning. So you will be joining us as a business analyst or a senior business analyst. That is something that we'll see. But you will be straight away put into projects and you will be engaging with key stakeholders. So there will be a lot of learning
Mhm.
with the, first of all, interacting with the clients is never an easy job. So you'll get to learn a lot. Number two, you will be the primary owner of a couple of epics. So you'll be doing that, and you will be directly interacting with their dev leads, QA leads, architects, and everyone. And of course, again, during the UAT cycles, you'll also be the point of contact. So all in all, the entire, I mean, you will be a very key stakeholder or a key member of the entire business analysis process.
Okay,
And
understood.
lastly, I would like to share my feedback with you. That is, I mean, of course, the detailed feedback will follow. But for now, I would say that keep your, I mean, your answers are good, but I would say that keep your answers a little more crisp and precise. So yeah,
Understood.
that is the only feedback I have. Okay. Cool.
Understood.
So thank you so much for being here. And before I close or end the interview, this is for you and the viewers as well. So in the interest of nowadays the attention span has reduced a lot. So people sort of refrain from watching long videos. So that is why what I've done is I've broken down this interview into two parts. That is part one, which we are in right now, wherein I asked you questions from three categories, namely the generic one, the Salesforce implementation, and process and documentation. In the next video or in the next interview that we schedule, I'm going to ask you questions from three more categories, starting with number one, communication and stakeholder management. Number two, agile and project delivery perspective. And number three, from the
Mhm.
scenario based or behavioral questions, right? So just wanted to give you an
Understood.
update or an FYI to you and the viewers on this. So I hope that this particular mock was helpful to you, and I would suggest this. Please work on the feedbacks that I provided. Overall,
Yes.
your answers have been good. It's just that they have to be a little more organized and a little more precise and somewhat shorter in duration. That is all that we need. Okay.
Understood. Understood. I'll be working on that. Yeah. Thank you
Sounds
so much.
sounds good. Thank you so much, Navnath, for being here, and thank you to the viewers. I hope that this video helped you big time. If you have any other special asks for us, please feel free to comment. And see you in the next video, wherein I'm going to talk to Navnath about more questions around Salesforce business analysis. So yeah, thank you so much for watching. Stay tuned. We're going to come up with a lot of more content around speed podcast, around blending in artificial intelligence with humans, and how to implement AI for your organization, some Salesforce related stuff. I mean, it's not only specific to Salesforce. You're going to come up with a lot of different things that might help you in your job, day-to-day job, or getting a job. So stay tuned and watch out for the content that we share. Yeah. So thank you so much for watching the video, and see you soon. Bye.